Hello again, this is my model railway news update. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's get right into it with an update from Marklin. This is a surprise model release in both Marklin and Trix guises, the so-called Saxon Pride Locomotive Class 19.0. This is coming in November 2025 and revives one of Germany's most loved express locomotives, originally designed for challenging mountainous routes. Developed between 1918 and 1922 by the Royal Saxon State Railways, the Class 190.0 represents a pinnacle of early 20th century engineering. The locomotive had around 1800 horsepower and it had 4 driving axles and a service weight of 162 tons, so obviously optimised for heavy express services in the Saxon Highlands. The locomotive earned acclaim from the Deutsche Reichsbahn for its performance and remained in operation until 1958, serving as an enduring emblem of regional rail innovation. This new model from Marklin replicates these specifications with high fidelity. Key features include a finely detailed exterior, in-period accurate livery, a 4-axle drive mechanism for smooth operation, and integrated modern digital functions such as a sound system and smoke generator. It's marketed as a limited edition collector's item, so you're going to have to be quick to get this if you are interested. And also complementing the locomotive, Marklin will offer a coordinated set of express train passenger coaches, ensuring historical accuracy for period-specific train formations if you want. The Class 19.0 model and accompanying coaches will be available for purchase starting November 2025, with the loco's RRP at €679, the 4-pack of 3 coaches and a baggage car being €299, and then there's a single third-class type C4U coach, and that's coming in around €74.99. Maybe less impressive, but certainly brighter colour is a new version of the Type ZA CNS tank wagon. This graphite grey paint scheme with additional green cargo lettering represents the wagon as it did in 2013. This is really just a new running number, but looks like a great wagon to add to your collection. Okay, let's take a look at Oxford Diecast and their new updates. The first is a new livery on the Ferguson TEA tractor, now in red and at 1/120th scale. There's a lot of detail there in a very small model. You can see it there measured up against a ruler. But that wasn't the only new livery option, as in 00 and HO scale. All these models got a new paint job. Yeah, they're not new models, but they're being advertised as being new. And also, all these are getting a rerun after having been so popular in the past they have sold out. Not new models, just the same as what you had before, but now becoming available once again. And of course, being re-released just in time for Christmas, it's the Coca-Cola truck. And finally, if you're in the Oxford membership club, the Christmas free model this year is going to be this Bedford CF van in a suitably jolly livery. It'll be getting sent out to you for free really soon, and there's still time to join the club if you want this model for free. Roco update their TT Scale product line with some interesting additions, and ones I've picked out include this new livery on the Class 115. This is the 80 years of Autozug livery of the Deutsche Bahn in Era 6. This is the first time this loco has been offered with Next 18 digital interface and features this elaborate wraparound design. This will take until Q4 next year to become available, but it's certainly an eye-catching model and priced around €168. Another bonkers livery from Roco is this version of the E111 in Era 6 Smart Rail livery. This already had Next 18 and aside from the livery doesn't offer anything new. Certainly eye-catching though, and due in Q3 next year, priced a little higher around €195. Also due in Q3 is yet another Ludmilla. This time it's an Era 6 livery option on the 232 from the Deutsche Bahn. The DB Bahnbau is responsible for the planning, construction and maintenance of infrastructure systems, and this livery reflects their hard-working number 550 locomotive. Plug 16 digital on this one with a price tag around €180. For Steam, this BR44 in DRG Era 2 photographic paint finish caught my eye obviously. There's no real difference to previously offered versions of the BR44, but this is certainly eye-catching. €310 for this, and also coming in Q3 next year. There was some coaching stock and wagons, but this certainly has to be the brightest livery, the rail release twin pack of sliding tarpaulin wagons. Yes, there are millions of livery options on these wagons, but this one does look interesting, and as they were used all over Europe, it would be suitable for any European layout. Price is around €73 for the twin pack, and it will be available in Q1 2026. You can't really talk about TT Scale without mentioning Tillig, of course, and they gave us some new releases, starting with this triple pack of DRG passenger coaches of the type MCI-43. Here in black and grey colour scheme from Era 2, these are certainly unusual. I've never seen this type of coach in model form before, and certainly not from any other manufacturer. Now, I might be wrong in that. If you know better, let me know in the comments below. This is the Class 101 electric loco model here in a new wraparound Destination Nature livery of the DB in Era 6 configuration. It looks really cool, this one, and it's a good model too, with Plux 12 decoder, directional lights and the possibility of overhead pickup too. A limited edition model for 2025, and I believe they're already all pre-sold. This stylish looking livery on the V270.09 of Shannon Gutter Logistics, another Era 6 model with Plux 12 and directional lights, and can also be retrofitted with sound if you want. Dull by comparison, we were also offered a new livery option on the Class 118 and BR218. Good models, but not really exciting. Some new rolling stock, nothing particularly exciting here, and just new liveries again. And a couple of vehicles too. So that was it in TT scale, but there were also these 3 items for HO scale as well. Again, nothing particularly exciting, and again, just new livery options. Rails of Sheffield are continuing their vans with brands releases with another Dapol van with another random Sheffield company logo on the side. This time it's Bullion chocolate on the 00 scale Dapol 4-wheel vent van model. It comes with a luxury pack of chocolate and together priced at £19.95. But I do feel the logo doesn't really work on this van, and it doesn't look that good with the printing either. So I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff. So let's move on to other Dapol news, as we saw some decorated samples of the Battle of Britain and West Country steam locomotives in N scale. These highly anticipated Bullion Light Pacific locomotives were originally announced over a decade ago. However, the project's extended development timeline has meant there's been some significant enhancements, with production models planned for release in the second quarter of 2026. The Bullion Light Pacifics, designed by Oliver Bullion for the Southern Railway in the 1940s, have long been sought by modelers of post-war British steam operations. Engineering prototypes were displayed last year, and the recent livery samples demonstrated a marked evolution from initial plans. The tender drive mechanism and visible drive shaft from earlier concepts have been eliminated, replaced by a coreless motor housed in the locomotive body. This redesign frees up space in the tender for a Next 18 decoder and speaker, connected via a streamlined socket system. Production versions will feature separately fitted etched nameplates and a factory-installed firebox glow effect. This model is a substantial upgrade over prior Dapol steam offerings, aligning with recent releases like the GWR Mogul, Manor and J72 classes, which signal a resurgence in the company's N-gauge steam lineup. Pre-orders are open through Dapol's authorised retailers, with a Q2 2026 delivery expected. Revolution Trains showed off some test livery samples for its upcoming N-gauge Class 180 diesel multiple units, featuring variants in First Great Western and Hull Trains dynamic line liveries. While previous samples of other liveries have been displayed, these liveries necessitated a shift to advanced UV printing technology over conventional tampo printing to capture its complexity and detail. These prototypes mark the earliest trials of the UV process, and minor adjustments are already underway. But it does look very promising though, and an interesting use of a new technology. Let's see how this project comes together. More on this soon. Bachmann Europe have confirmed production of an exclusive 00 gauge model of the Caledonian Railway 439 Class 044T tank locomotive, commissioned by Rails of Sheffield, with deliveries expected in 2027. The prototype class comprised 92 locomotives, constructed between 1900 and 1925, primarily for branch line and suburban passenger services around Glasgow. Under LMS ownership from 1923, their operational footprint expanded to include former Highland Railway routes and banking duties on the Carlisle to Glasgow main line. British Railways absorbed 47 examples upon nationalisation in 1948, with the last withdrawals occurring in 1962. Notably, number 419 was preserved by the Scottish Railway Preservation Society and featured in the 1975 Stockton and Darlington Railway 150th Anniversary Cavalcade. It remains operational at the Bowness and Kinneil Railway. The new tooling of this model features a coreless motor with all-wheel electrical pickup, a diecast chassis and gearbox, a firebox glow effect, a Next 18 DCC socket, a stay-alive capacitor and a factory-fitted speaker. DCC sound fitted deluxe variants will include Bachmann's auto-release tension lock couplings for enhanced realism as well. As part of Bachmann's Collectors Club Railway Icons range, a special edition depicts number 419 in CR Line dark blue as it appeared during the 1975 cavalcade. An additional model for the SRPS represents number 55189 in BR black with early crests. All of them are priced at an RRP of $184.95 for DCC ready versions, $294.95 for DCC sound-fitted models, and $324.95 for DCC sound-fitted deluxe versions. Gagemaster has shown off the latest releases from Noch in HO scale, including this interesting selection of minifigures, and yes, that's a vampire you're seeing there. These are all in their 3D printed full colour range, ready to be placed on your layout. And also the Christmas 2025 figure advent calendars are out too now in HO, TT, N and Z scale versions. Faller has decided to go ahead with a model of the Duisburg Steelworks blast furnace in HO scale as their anniversary kit number 3 for 2026. No price set yet, but this is an impressive kit that'll certainly keep you busy constructing it, that's for sure. Among many other new kits, there were a couple of boats, including this fireboat and this tanker barge, even a federal police helicopter kit. And the car system that they do got a few new items, including a VW ID Buzz in white, a Mercedes-Benz Interregio bus, a Mercedes-Benz C-Class car in silver, as well as a taxi version. Also Mercedes is this Sprinter DRK ambulance and this food truck. They're all pretty expensive though, well over £100 each here in the UK, with the ambulance close to £200, expensive for a model vehicle, even if they are motorised. Piko released some new HO models, and starting with their expert range, it's this, the NS500 diesel locomotive from Era 3. This would be interesting to see how this holds up against some UK models of the equivalent Class 08 shunter. This one comes with Dutch light setup and a fully detailed interior. Options include analog, DC, or DCC or AC digital with sound. Prices start around £180, so cheaper than this equivalent Hornby 08 in 00 scale. Also in the expert range, we're offered this SBB RE4/4 Type 1 electric locomotive from Era 3. Between 1955 and 1959, two locomotives were trialled with alternative liveries, one in lime green and another in blue. This represents the blue one, of course, and comes in the same specification as the NS500. This is due before the end of the year, and if you're interested, expect to pay around about £250 or thereabouts. We also got a new livery on their budget Type BI 2-axle second-class coach, this time in CSD Era 3 livery, and only around £20. It is very basic, but it is a low price. Maybe appealing to younger modern image modelers, Piko has added two new starter sets to its graffiti range. Here we have either a German DB BR218 at the top or the Austrian RH2016 below, both coming with the same pair of wagons, plus you get an oval of track and a controller. All in, this is priced at around £135, which is great value for money. You can also add to it with this additional wagon and pack, including a set of points and a siding, for around £70 extra. There is a whole bunch of Rapido news still to come, and some more Roco TT Scale releases too, but I'll wrap this one up here. Anyway, that's the video folks, thanks for watching. I'm sure there'll be more coming soon, so subscribe to keep yourself up to date, and I'll see you on the next one.
So model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains.